last night when I was up because I think when I woke up, it was like I kept trying to go back to sleep and trying to go back to sleep. And then finally I got up and I came out and looked. It was like 2:30 in the fucking morning. So I tried to write down the stuff that kept going through my head. But then when you read it, like it makes so much sense when it's happening. But then when you read it back, it's like, oh. Mm. Um, but you know that show, that Firefly Lane or whatever it's called on Netflix. There was so many things I really liked about it. Um, I'm bummed I won't remember it when I start watching it. I'll have to watch the whole thing again. I don't know if I want to do that. I'll probably just, there's so many series, I'll see the first one and then never complete them because it's just like, who cares what happens? I don't remember anything about it. But in this one, the thing that I liked was there was so many troubled relationships, so many people with hidden secrets and no communication and all these kind of like false relationships because there was nothing truthful or authentic. It was all based on these like, I always call it paradigms. It's like these built structures that confine us to who we are. And it's all artificial. It's not real. I mean, there might be some people who have theirs based on real things, but most people have been living in this world, in this artificial matrix for their whole lives. So, this is a process for everybody to have to rebuild. And so it's interesting to watch different shows because it kind of like triggers, thoughts and emotions, insights, and stuff into your mind that gives you new perspectives of how to look at things. And that's what happens when I watch these shows, anyways. But so all these people with their kind of their ideas of one another was based on, it was kind of like stereotyping. They weren't being honest with each other. And anyways, it's really good to watch because you kind of see how people are their own worst enemy. And so many people just don't even understand that they are their problem, not everything outside of them, just them. That's it. Work on yourself and your problems will start to dissolve. It's how you look at them. It's what you focus on. If you're focusing on good and something bad happens, then you have to be like, okay, well, this was supposed to happen right now. I don't know why, but it's gonna lead me somewhere. That's the really beautiful thing about it all, is like, since the beginning of my journey, there was a lot of stuff. Like there were triggers. There was a certain person that was triggering me. It was like they were talking to me personally. I don't know. We'll see how all this plays out. There's a lot of stuff that I don't talk about that I would talk about more in the future. But, when I started mine, there was so much healing that had to go on. And it's not even, I mean, there's constant healing. I don't think you can ever get away from it. If you're incarnated, there's a purpose, there's a reason. You're wanting to heal something, you're wanting to grow something. That is the whole reason to incarnate. I don't think, when you're a powerful being outside of your body, that you go into a body because you need to find power or something. No, your power, right now we're trying to kind of combine our power with our physical. Like we're trying to understand and recreate ourselves in this more powerful way of being, because we're more in touch with our own spiritual self. So we're not held back. So this is like a huge transition that is happening on so many levels. I talk about it all the time, but this is like a huge what's going on, and it's going to it's just going to change so many things. I know I'm a broken record about that. But when I started, and at first when I was alone in that dark winter, that was a dark winter, man, long and dark and lonely. And it was a season of loss. I was just losing. I mean, there was so much loss in my life at the time. And I thought I had just recovered from the loss of getting my brain injury, losing all my things, having to start over, losing, I mean, you lose friends, you have to completely start over. You have to find strength in yourself. You have to be resilient, because I think most people, when they go through life-changing or life-altering incident, that you are alone. There's people who are with you, but you can't see them. You have guides and stuff around you. You have people cheering you on. You have people that are there sending you messages and trying to get through to you and help you understand. But you can't just turn to somebody and feel like that you can explain something to them and they're going to understand it on the level that you are explaining it, because it just, and when people tell me something, I'm always trying to understand it from something in my own life. Like, oh, I understand how that feels. Yeah, that's really hard. I went through that before. I know that that's hard. That's just how I communicate. It bothers some people. Some people want they think that that's, I guess, narcissistic. I think it's trying to relate and have a conversation with people about, the troubling feelings that go on that are attached and associated with some experiences. But, it's all by perspective. It's all, how we each see the world, how we see communication, how we see each other. But in mine, there was nobody. I did turn to people who I knew had been suicidal before, because I knew that they would know what it meant when I said, I can't get it out of my head. I just keep going over and over it. And I don't want to kill myself, but it's like it won't go out. And, that I think that that's a dark energy that can attach and attack you when you're feeling low and down. And, you have to fight past it. You have to find your inner strength. You have to find other, energies that are more of like the rock, there's something that you can hold on to that's going to, because there's other energies out there. And like I've said before, you have, I say, like, put on some happy music. If you're sad and you're feeling depressed, don't get too comfortable in it, because it likes that energy likes it. It wants to pull you down. It wants you to feel defeated. It wants you to feel sad. There's energies that feed off of that. They get bigger by feeding off of your energy, like a parasite. But, we can't see all that because we're not all tuned into all the energy and what's around us that we can't see, because we're so focused on the three-dimensional, like, oh, there's dust on my table, that we're not paying attention to everything else that's around us. But then when you start paying attention and you start, like, noticing the numbers, you notice, like, you think something and then something answers you. I can't even tell you how many times I'm thinking something and it's said at the same time, like on TV or something. When that stuff happens, you have to recognize that there's some sort of communication. There's something that they're trying to get across to you. They want you to... Oh, she's still in such a mood. She's had a couple doses of the antibiotic, but I don't know. See if she'll come in. Hold on. day outside. Looks like it's gonna storm, but it says no rain. It's freaking dreary. So, anyways, and then in mine, you know, once I got through that, there just kept being so many more things. Like, they were actually bringing in people into my life that were going to trigger these certain things. And I would be going through, I would go in my room and just be questioning, like, why? And then I would hear it loud and clear. They would tell me right in my head, why? You just have to listen. You have to separate your thoughts. Like, what are your thoughts? 11:11. Separate your thoughts from the communication. Like, start trying to understand, like, what part is your ego? What part is your brain thinking? I don't even know how much your brain actually just thinks on its own. I really, really see our brains as being much more of a receiver, communication, things going in. You know, just on all this stuff, you know, like, if I start doing something, then, like, there's so many different instances and different ways it could go down. Like, when I was doing the light, I was getting so frustrated. I was trying to do the light, and I mean, I was like in tears. This light was so complicated. It was so, it was way up. So I had to be on a ladder, which I'm horrible with heights anyways. And I had to be on a ladder, and it's got all of these, it's kind of like a spider, like all the lights come out on all these things. Well, all those are on separate wires. They hadn't put it, so you have this tiny little thing, and you have all these wires. You have this thing above your, oh my God, it was the biggest challenge of a life. I was so, I was literally in tears. I was so frustrated. And then I kind of like was yelling at my, I don't know, my guides, my assistants, my team, whatever you want to call your people. I was just like, oh my God, why aren't you guys helping me? As soon as you ask, they always do. They'll give you like, okay, well, go get a screw, hang that from there. Go get this, change your tools. Don't use this, don't use that. Like, and so many times I go get something, I'll be like, okay, I want to go hang this up. I want this and this. And then I'll go and I'll look, and that won't be there, but something else will be there. And then I'll hear, you don't have to be stuck on one thing. We can make this work with this. And but as soon as you ask them, things just start going like smoothly. And every time that I've been doing something and I've gotten frustrated, and I've pulled them in and I've said, you guys, come on, come and help me. This is too much. I'm getting really pissed. They always do. So, you know, you just have to, no matter if you feel like you sound like a crazy person, just, you know, start talking to them, start communicating, start looking for your signs, start listening to stuff. And, you know, it's not accidents. It's not, it's all real. This is such a strange thing going out of this like very structured three-dimensional world of all enslavement, and it's just was so structured, and it was so fake. And then to go into this one where you start realizing, like, I don't know why I'm hearing I can't even say the word, sentient being, and something like that. I'm hearing that. But you are your own, being, your own, you know, this is a vessel, and you have so much more power than what you believe in, that you have. And, you know, I'm so curious. I know I talk about it all the time, but it is so curious to see, how is this going to go? Like, once people start seeing the truth, there's so many, you know, structures that are still going down, and people still holding on to them so tightly. Religion. Oh my gosh, that is one, man, people are gripping it. And I 100% believe you have to be close to God, but you have to find God in yourself. You can't just go out and find the connection through somebody else. That's false idols. That's fake to me. That's not real. Where you're trusting someone else for your communication, and they're always communicating. If you want to look at it as it's just one God out there, and everybody gets a little piece of him, or I look at it as that we have ancestors, we have guides, we have ancestors that we've never even met. We have people that we incarnate with in other lives. We have families in other planets. We all have, like, I think the biggest lie that has been told to human beings is you only live once. This is it. As a child, when they were trying to tell me that, I was like, you guys really believe this? This is that. What about the poor kid? What about the kid who's born, to these horrible tragedies, and that was their one chance? That doesn't make any sense. And the people that believe that just fully believe it, and I just can't wrap my head around it at all. So, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we are about to have the tribulation. I think that's what it's called. My mom keeps telling me. I think it's called the tribulation, and it's kind of like in that that show that was on for a while called what was it? The Lenders. I don't remember what it's called now. I don't think I even watched it. Somebody just told me about it. I think I saw a scene or something when they were watching it. But the premise is, and this is in the Bible too, is that it's like everybody's gonna get up one morning and half the people are gone. But then also there's a whole thing about that they have an exact number. Like the people who believe some of that believe it's only going to be 144,000 people out of all the billions of people that are going to go. Like, you have to be pretty damn special when you say, like, that doesn't make sense. That's not the kind of God that I would give my energy to. That's cruel like that. That's not how I see it. And life is just, it's all about learning and growing and becoming more. And plus, I really think that there's probably a component to fucking infinity's a long ass time. Gotta have something to do. And going and living these different lives, it seems pretty productive. So, but there's so many people who have such a screwed up way of looking at life, and they're so beat down. They feel so bad about themselves. They don't feel like they can even succeed because they've been sold what success is. They don't see that for themselves. So, they just feel bad about themselves. There's so many people who feel bad about themselves for so many different reasons. And they put that, because their perspective, they put that out there on other people. So it is kind of like, if a guy feels like shit about himself, he thinks he's a worthless piece of shit, and then you like him, doesn't matter how great you are, you can love the shit out of him. But if he doesn't feel good about himself, you're never going to be good enough. You're always, because he doesn't deserve to have somebody good. He doesn't deserve to have love and stuff. So he has to find the love inside of himself to be able to receive it and give it, express it, everything, And that's the thing. There's so many people in these relationships that it's driving me crazy because there's like a little counter thing that tells you how long you've been talking. And it's like goes right through my forehead. And then, so I can't even tell, like, am I even in the freaking thing? But yeah, the people who have this low self-esteem and feel like shit about themselves, then they're putting that on other people, but they think it's coming to them freely from other people. They don't see that they're looking for those messages. They are projecting how they feel about themselves. They are looking through a certain lens of, it's kind of just self-destructive of how they view the world. And, all that's got to change. And that's the thing that is, fascinating to me, is to see how this is going to play out. Like, Stella cracks me up. Oh my God, I don't even know what I would do with my days if I didn't have her. I swear to God, I don't. And I'm so anxious to start traveling. God, I want to start traveling. Yesterday, I was so irritated when they were trying to tell me, like, I wasn't being supportive of my 10-year-old deciding that she's a lesbian now because boys are mean to her at school and I should be supporting her coming out and stuff. Oh, jeez, I was irritated. I was like, I'll support any adult, but a child that's 10 years old, it doesn't matter how much sex you've watched in TV. You don't know. You can't, I don't even know how much sex. I mean, we're living in such an over-sexualized society at this point. It's so warped. It's run, what is it? It's run by pedophiles and people who eat and kill children. So you got that. And, okay, lady, I don't know what's wrong. You're just so sad again. So, I can get so off, like, I can't even remember what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm glad you're happy, but I can't remember what I was talking about. I can't at all. Well, let's just see if I can pick back up where but when it's coming from your own view of yourself, like okay, I remember what I was talking about with the 10-year-olds having to decide if they're gay or not, or 3-year-olds having to decide if they're born in the right body. It's like, oh my God, come on. And then they want to push this whole thing about they've got to decide early so they can do their hormone therapy. Why should a girl who thinks she's a boy grow boobs and stuff? But think about it. Isn't this all just kind of undermining God? God doesn't know. Don't connect to God. Don't try and understand, what the confusion's about or anything. And I'm not saying, everybody has to be heterosexual. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that, I've definitely known a lot of people who, I've been with other people who are in the same sex. So I just really believe that love you feel love for people. Doesn't matter, what body they're in. What you do with the love is up to you if you're an adult. Kids shouldn't have to be trying to figure any of it out. They shouldn't be having to try and figure out. If you're going to not even be dating till you're 16, but now you got to decide if you, that's one thing if you, I don't even think that she understands what fantasies and stuff are. Like, I think she likes to dress up in anime and put on crazy weird makeup and play with her hamster. I think she spends her time thinking about makeup and wigs and stuff like that, not like, having sex with girls or boys or any of it. And to me, it's just got an agenda written all over it, especially when you got every girl in this little group has the same thing. It's ridiculous. I was ready to just, I was like, I'm going to just sell my house and move to Costa Rica. Maybe if I go there and I don't understand what everybody's saying all the time, we'll have peace. Because some of the stuff is just like, oh my God, how can there be this much confusion? So that's what is fascinating to me, is like, I kind of, at this point now, it's almost April. I thought this was going to be, done quite a while ago. I thought we were going to be in the next part, and I had no idea it would take this long for everybody to wake up. Even when you try and tell them things, and my one daughter does seem to be kind of questioning things more. And I do think that it just takes one in these pockets, it takes one, because at this point, one of them waking up, I think will help the rest of them. But what I'm curious about is, like, once they wake up, like, what is going to be? There's got to be so much healing. I don't think we're going to bypass the healing thing, no matter how long this just seems to go. I think there's just going to be this many people who are in this much pain that are going to have a lot of healing that is going to have to be done. And it's not even just, our whole planet, which we have that, but each person on an individual level, that especially this victim mentality thing, that's been pushed hard, on people. And it's just to strip us of our power, so you feel powerless, so you feel hopeless, so you hopefully will go, pay for the pills that will make you feel better for a minute. I can't believe how many people pay for the pills to make them feel better for a minute, and then drink on the pills. And I was like, oh my gosh, people are such a mess. That these things, cutting off oxygen in them for a year of their body not being full. I can't believe how many I see standing outside. They don't even pull it down. It's just like it's become a part of them. They're just willing to accept it as just, a new part of their face. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so I can only see that is going to be, a lot of healing in the future of these people to just realize to realize what is real and what isn't real. So I feel like there's so many things I want to talk about, but I still have that weird feeling kind of in my head, like feels like that everything is, I don't know, it feels like really weird energy. Everything, the way it looks outside, everything just feels and looks weird. Like, I know we're in this I think that I was listening to somebody even talking about, I think the moon is full moon in Aries or something. Maybe that's what's causing this energy. It probably has something to do with something. I find that stuff interesting, but I don't know that much stuff about it. There was another thing. But since I got back, you remember before I left, I kept saying that the tarot cards were all saying the same thing every time. Like, I would go on and pick a card or whatever one would pop up, like with a message to me, because I'll do that all the time. When I feel like there's there's like a frog in there. When it feels like that there's some kind of communication or something, and I'm like, oh, what are you trying to say? And then I'll go on, well, I kept getting the same message over and over and over and over. So while I was gone on my trip visiting, then I didn't listen to any I just like put my phone down and stay present. in the moment and, talk to people and stuff. And so when I got home, I was like, oh, I want to see what the messages are. It's been the exact same, every single one again. So that is where I definitely feel like there's something that is, these strings, I really like this chair, but it is kind of falling apart. I'm a fiddler. Like, I can totally, fidgeter, that's what it is, these fidget things. I fidget. But, what was I about to say? There's so many things distracting me. There's so many things distracting me, lady. You're so sweet. Oh, she's so sad. I don't even know why she's so sad. I keep thinking it's gotta be Winston. I hope it's not sickness. She went to the vet. Look at this, like, she's already getting white in her face. She's only 4. These dogs age so fast. You're so pretty. What was I gonna say? Well, it's just more of my rambling anyways. It's not like I'm sure I'll say it again tomorrow. Probably say the same thing every day. There was something that I wanted to say. Oh, doesn't really matter. I'll still be, who knows? Maybe I'll even talk later today again. Sometimes it seems like it's a long day. When the time, before the time changed, it was so short. Now, there's so much light. It's like magic. How do they even do it? I don't get it. I don't think it has just to do with their time change thing, because it's, there's so many more hours of light just magically. And I know before it was I was getting up and it would be dark for hours, and then it would only be a few hours I'd have my curtains open, and then it would be dark again and I would close them. Now you get up, open them, and then close them like right before you go to bed. Just way more hours. That's not just by time change. I know this by cycles and stuff of the moon, but I don't know. I just feel kind of like the time change is kind of manipulative or something. There's so many things that are manipulating us all the time to give us a false idea of what stuff is. And I was just watching yesterday when I was talking about the frequency thing. And then this thing, I told you when I talk about something, something will pop up. It will be about the exact same thing I was talking about. Some people that I know would tell me it's because they're listening to me and they listen and they, put it up there on purpose. But anyways, this one was a frequency thing and how the frequencies are manipulating us, and they're using it through music, and they're using all these different frequencies to manipulate our brain, and they've known how to do it for a really long time, and they've changed the hertz and music, and anyways, it's interesting. But I totally believe that. The high-pitched frequency sounds I keep getting in my ears. While I was gone, I had seen somebody, because my one daughter and I, it seemed like we watched some like ghost stories, and somebody was talking about that high-pitched frequency that you hear in your ears is them trying to communicate. And I've thought that before. I've thought, like, this is some kind of communication, and I've always wondered, like, does my brain understand it, even though my thoughts don't understand it, like whatever the message is, because it's always in sounds and frequencies, and it changes the pitch and stuff. I don't know. It's there's so many things I'm going to be once there's more disclosure and we start finding out more things. There's a lot of stuff I'm so interested. It's going to be so exciting to find out the truth to all the lies. And it's going to be exciting to see people change and start to love themselves and get out of this dark, my stomach is growling, this dark feeling that's so despondent and so hate of self. And there's a lot of changes coming. So I guess I should go. I feel like I'm just, but who knows? Maybe I'm going to say something again later. Maybe something significant happened. I've got some Lifetime movies lined up. That's one thing too on my trip. Then got some new movies when I got home. Plus my daughter let me go on her Netflix. I don't want to support Netflix. And but I did want to see how that show ended. And I was not expecting it to end on such a cliffhanger. So now I think I'll just get the book and try and read it. God, my stomach is growling. Okay. Well, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.